Hi, and welcome back to Seeing the World Through Trifocals. I have the very unique quality of seeing things differently than most people do. And apparently, it's not something that's recently developed. Even back in college, it seemed I could always hack off my college English professor because I interpreted some of the literary giants differently than he did, and I wasn't afraid to express it. I think he passed me just to get me out of his class. Anyway, I insisted that when Shakespeare wrote, "To be or not to be," he really meant to say, "To live or not to live." Yes, that is the real question. In fact, I believe that the first question everyone should ask themselves when they wake up each day is that. I also am adamant that only you can choose if you're truly going to live each day or just live each day. The second live is another way of saying exist. Oh yes, I'm that experienced age that says if my body didn't hurt somewhere, I wouldn't know for sure I was alive. But that concept sounds awfully boring. And life is not boring, it's a gift. If there was no chalk outline around you when the alarm went off, rise and shine. Want to know how? I'll tell you what worked for me in a couple of minutes. By the way, it also worked for my brother, but he hadn't planned it. Do something on your bucket list today. What? You don't have one? Then that's your assignment for today. Remember back in those golden days when we wrote on stone with a chisel? Or you knew when we were home, when you called us because we had answered the phone, so we were obviously at home? What did you want to do? Maybe it was something crazy, but you truly believed you could do it. However, somewhere along the way, you grew up and decided you had to be an adult. Being adult is not all it's made out to be, but it can be. My hero is a fearless, opinionated old lady whose name is Maxine. My husband knows that even though when we play games and the card he draws says, "Who's your partner's favorite hero?" he's not going to say anything because he knows where I keep the chalk. But my latest t-shirt sort of gives my fondness for this lady away. It says, "Go ahead, underestimate me. It'll be fun." Maybe there are people who underestimate you. Maybe you even underestimate yourself. But God doesn't. He knows that with His strength, you can still do anything. Oh, I'm sure the devil cringes when he sees me get up each morning and wonders what I'm going to be up to today. And it wouldn't surprise me if even God sometimes cringes when He sees me heading out the door. And I'm positive I've gone through several guardian angels who've had to retire due to nervous breakdowns. But I've learned that having fun is the best form of sharing God there is. Are you a sourpuss that your grandkids call Grandma No-No? Are you so religious you don't have time to be a Christian? Would people rather talk to a bartender than you? Have you become so isolated with fear that you haven't opened your mailbox since the March 1920s primary election? Then now is the time to step up and start living. That's living in all capital letters. People ask me what I'm up to next. I don't know. Strangers read my shirt and just start talking to me. As Bill shares in his Bill Explores weekly post, you can turn any item, even a t-shirt, into a lesson about God. I didn't used to be, but now I am the first one to laugh at myself. When someone else says, "You're old, why don't you act more your age?" I say, "I don't know how to act my age. I've never been this age before." God gave me life to prepare for the glory of heaven and the eternal thrill of being with Him. He said, "Live life abundantly." So I am. What exactly did I do to kickstart this new attitude and to show myself, my husband, and my younger brother that I was serious about living the rest of my life to the fullest. At the ripe young age of 76, I grabbed my 68-year-old brother by the arm and headed to the zip line ride. While sliding over the trees, we looked down and saw a herd of rhinos, a memory we will both share for the rest of our lives. I will remember it because it was on my bucket list, and Dennis will remember it because of the fingerprints I left in his arm as we slid along the wire. Yes, today's fact snack is to find something fun to do, and don't be afraid of what others think. If they just want to live, that's not your problem. In the meantime, be the example that says, live life and have a fun day. Put a smile on God's face. See you next time on Seeing the World Through Trifocals.